Hey guys, it's Evan here with the Diligent Wholesaler. We're coming at you live on Facebook with another Facebook Live event. This is episode number 2. Hopefully we'll be coming out with more of these every single week. Today, if you missed us last week we did a repair estimate walkthrough of a house in Oaklawn. And today we're going to do a little bit of a repair walkthrough, but the more important thing we're doing today for you is that at the end, Wendell here is going to go over all of the numbers on our rent-to-own deal that we're working on right now. So that's good for you. You're going to get a good idea of what the repairs are like on this house, and you're going to get a good idea of how we acquired this property, what we acquired it for, what our exit strategy is, and how we intend to profit on this property. So right now we're in Bellwood. Bellwood is a fantastic city to be in for investors right now. We actually just did a lot of our research, and about 9.5% of every home sale in this city is an investor is involved in, which is crazy. It's like double the numbers I got from any other city in the area. We are on this house in Bellwood right now. Is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 full bath, with a room for a bedroom in the basement. We're turning it into a bedroom. It could be used as a den or an office space. Yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to walk through the repairs. On the outside, we're looking at replacing the front step here of the stairs on the walk-up. On the side here, if you look at the gutter, the downspout doesn't come out all the way, so in order to avoid flooding, we're going to extend the downspout away from the building. What's nice about this property is it actually was very recently rehabbed, so the amount of work that needs to be done is actually very low. Our original estimate was around $6,000, and after we went out to a few different contractors and got the estimates from them back, the best estimate was $6,600. So that shows that we're actually, we're only $600 off. That's pretty good for the scope of work that needs to be done on this project. This house has a sidewalk that runs along the side of it. At the bottom here, where my foot is, you can tell that there's a little bit of a crack that we're going to fill in with cement to avoid leaks coming into the basement and ruining the walls. If we go into the back here, we see we have a little porch. We're also going to be filling in along the entire side of the house. If this sidewalk is on, we're going to be filling in these cracks. In the back, we also have another downspout from the gutter. We plan on extending this one as well away from the house, again, to avoid any potential leaks into the basement. We also were made aware that this step here on this porch is actually not up to code, so we will need to fix that by either lowering it or filling in with cement. It's apparently over 5 inches. It doesn't look like it, but apparently it's over 5 inches. We have a 2-car garage in the back here that actually needs next to no work, so this thing is drive-in ready. And if we walk inside the house now, we'll show you just how ready this house is to fill it with a prospective tenant buyer, since we're doing this rent-to-own on this house. As you can see, this is a great street. We happen to have picked up one of the better houses on the street, which is great. And like I said, it needs very little work, so we purchased this house for $129,000, and we estimated that there were about $6,000 worth of repairs, and we have an ARV set at about $170,000. On the front door here, we will be fixing this up with an automatic closer for the storm door on the front door. Inside here, the house is all hardwood floor with the exception of the steps that lead down to the basement and the basement floor itself. Inside, you can see we already have painters here getting to work on putting a nice neutral color on all the walls. That was one of the larger expenses, as I said, because this house is pretty much ready to go. You can see all the paintwork has started. This is the first, obviously we're on the first floor. Here is bedroom number 1. On the first floor we have 2 bedrooms as well as 1 bath. Across the hall we have the second bedroom. as you can see, the paintwork in basically every single room is already started. It shouldn't take too long, and like I said, that was one of the larger parts of our budget. The bathroom here, you can see the previous rehabber did a good job. Everything's pretty up to date. It is a nice bathroom. Another part of our budget is replacing all of the CO2 and carbon monoxide alarms and making sure they all have better batteries. Again, a very low part of the budget. In the kitchen here, we do plan on taking out these appliances and getting in new ones. Now you say, oh look, they're stainless steel appliances. What could possibly be wrong? There was a bug infestation in this house, so we do have to get it fumigated. And the appliances are kind of hard to do that to, so we want to make sure that they're out and there's no risk that once we fill this house with a tenant buyer, that because there are so many nooks and crannies in an appliance, we want to make sure that we're not giving them an appliance that might have some nasty bugs still crawling around. So if we go upstairs now, you can see that even the stairs, there's just a little bit of paintwork that needs to be done on the side to kind of even out the flow. But the stairs up to the second level are in very good shape. The bedrooms, there's two on the second level, are also in very decent shape. Again, the only work that we're doing in this one is paint. This house is about 1,100 square feet, and once we're done, it will have a finished basement. This would be bedroom number 4, the second one on the second level. There is no bathroom on the second level. There's a full bath on the first level and a full bath in the basement, which we're going to go check out right now. And two guys, actually, while you're watching this, if you have any comments or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. And while we're on the video, we'll actually try to get back to you and answer those questions. As you can see, there's a little bit of work that needs to be done replacing the tile on the stairs down here. Watch your step, guys. But again, it's nothing major. As you can see, there's only a few tiles that actually themselves need work. So again, that just shows that our budget of $6,000 that's a great budget for what we acquired this house for. This is the basement. As I mentioned earlier, it was a tile basement. It's a very nice finished basement. Again, just like every room in the house, most of the work is paint. If we go into this 5th bedroom, plus 1, since it's in the basement, it does have a window and it does have a closet, so we could count it as a bedroom. Right now we're in the process of adding the closet doors to the bedroom. And over here, they just added the doors here to the laundry room. It does not have a washer and dryer in it yet. And here is the final bathroom. It's in the basement, but even though you have to walk all the way down, if you can see this shower, it's pretty high end. I mean, I've never been hit with that many streams at once. That's pretty sweet. Wendell's testing the power here. Everything's working. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. If you would like us to send you deals like this, as part of the Diligent Wholesalers mission, we're trying to come to you with the most as transparent as possible. We want all the numbers. We want to show you all of the numbers that we do on all of our deals, just like this one, so that moving forward, you feel comfortable enough with us to partner on any of the deals that we send out. Now, to get those deals that we do send out, you can go to our Facebook page, and there's a sign-up button on the front. And if you go to that, if you click on that sign-up button, it'll lead you to our webpage, thediligentwholesaler.com/find-deals. And if you sign up there, you will get all of our deals as well as some of the tips that we send out just like this. In case someone missed this video, we will be sending it out via recording through that email blast as well. So now we can go up and...
We actually had a question. What kind of properties do you wholesale? Are they all single family?
Great question. Okay, so I'm in charge of the wholesaling. We will wholesale any type of property if the numbers work. So what's nice is when we acquire rent-to-own properties, I know I'm going a little off topic here, but when we do acquire rent-to-own properties, we can pay higher, we can offer a higher price on our offers than most flippers can. When we try to do a wholesale deal, typically that price is lower. So we will, to answer your question, we will wholesale any deal where the numbers make sense. We're in the process right now of trying to wholesale a deal that's a 38-unit commercial multifamily building. We've wholesaled condos before, one-bedroom studio condos in Chicago, outside of Chicago. Again, it comes down to the numbers for a wholesale. If we can get the deal for a number that works for us and works for the investors that we know, then it's a potential prospect for us to wholesale. Keep the questions coming, guys. Yeah, we got a question. All right, guys, so the last part of this live video, Wendell is going to go over with you on the wall here
The numbers.
all of the numbers for this deal.
All right. So, first I'd like to discuss why rent to own is better than an outright sale. Okay. The bottom line is with rent to own we make more money, right? So on the wall here is a comparison of a hypothetical case of a property that with an after repair value of 200,000. What's the profit if we sell it outright versus what's the profit if we do rent to own? So let's see what's on the board here. So hopefully you guys can see it. But let's compare first. Let's discuss first what the profit will be with an outright sale. So let me expand this, and we'll just look at the outright sale for now. So the list price is 200,000. So I mean the ARV is 200,000. So therefore you have to sell it for 199.9, right? You hire a real estate agent to do that. If you get an offer for 196, most likely you will say yes. So that's the seller concession. Of course, you have to pay a real estate agent commission for that, and you have closing costs to sell, right? However, for rent to own, number one, we can sell the property at a 10% premium. So we're selling it for 220,000, and there is no seller concession. There's no dickering about the price. So the tenant buyer, it's 220 or they walk out, right? So there's no dickering on the price. There's no real estate agent involved, so there's no real estate agent commission, and there's no closing cost. The buyer pays for all the closing costs. So by the time you deduct the purchase price, let's say you buy this for 120, you put 30 in it, it's worth 200. So you say, yeah, the numbers make sense. There's enough room in there. Well, let's see, right? The gross profit that you'll have by the time you deduct your cost, okay, is about $30,000. However, there is holding cost. A lot of investors forget about the holding cost. So what's a holding cost? Well, you have to pay taxes, insurance, utilities on a property, and usually when you buy it, right, you use a hard money loan or some sort of financing, right, and therefore you have interest payments that you have to pay. So for a $200,000 house, let's just say that every month it's costing you around $2,000 by the time you add your cost of money, your taxes, insurance, the cost of utilities. Well, why is there utilities when you're rehabbing a house? Well, you need to turn the electric on, right? You need to turn the water on. You need to turn the heat on, so that your your contractors should be able to rehab the house, right? So for a fix and flip or a house that you sell outright, the typical holding cost, or I would say your optimistic holding cost or holding time is 6 months. So that's $12,000 at $2,000 a month. Whereas with rent to own, you ask any landlord, it's so easy to rent houses today, right? Like typically 30 days or less, they're able to lease a house. Well, for rent to own, we need someone better, than a normal tenant, and therefore I put there that the holding cost or holding time is 1/3. So it's not exactly 1/6, right? For a rental, for example, but for a rent-to-own, let's say it's double that. So in 2 months, once the house is rehab, then you can easily find a tenant buyer. And the way we're doing marketing right now, we have tenant buyers lined up even before we buy a property. So that holding cost will actually be lower, right? It's only the holding cost while the house is being rehabbed. So the other good thing about rent-to-own is that you have cash flow. If you look at the right side, so you have cash flow of $400 a month. That's $4,800 a year. So if you just compare the profit before tax and after tax, I mean, there's a huge difference. You have 17,000, when you rehab a house, versus 67,000 when you do the rent-to-own. And then by the time you do the after-tax profit, right? Depending on your tax rate, the problem with a fix and flip, it's always short-term capital gains, and it can be as high as 40%. So if you're doing a lot of these flips, the IRS will eat up 40% of your profit. So think about that one. Every $100 you make, you give the IRS $40. So why do that? Whereas with rent-to-own, you pay long-term capital gains taxes, which is usually 20%, right? So bottom line, after the IRS gets its share, you make 5 times more profit with rent-to-own, right? Now, you might be thinking, well, with rent-to-own, my money is tied up, right? Well, not necessarily, right? Because that $10,000, we get that as soon as we get a tenant buyer. So we get that $10,000 in 2 months, whereas you, the rehabber, get $10,000 after 6 months, right? And we can buy the house, fix it, and then pull the money out anyway by doing a cash out refinance. So we get the capital out to do it all over again. Hence, we love rent-to-own because you make more money, basically, right? Without paying so much in taxes, and you get the benefits of a rental property. You get passive income, you get depreciation, right? All the tax benefits of having a rental property, and at the same time you get that big chunk of profit on the back end, which is $50,000, right? So for the same house, we can make 5 times the profit. Think about that one. So now I'd like to show you the profit that we are going to make on this house in Bellwood, this house right here in 234 Granville. So these are the numbers, and I can share this calculator with you guys, but we have to know what the ARV is, the purchase price, the repair cost, estimated closing cost. You have the property taxes, the insurance, what will be the utilities per month, how fast do houses sell in this market. We put 0 because we already have a tenant buyer lined up. So, so as soon as this house is fixed, we have a tenant buyer coming in. The time to refi or refinance out of the hard money is 6 months. So basically the whole strategy is, step number 1 is we buy using hard money, So usually this spreadsheet is for our 50-50 partners. So if you want to become a 50-50 partner, let Evan know that you're interested. But basically, you put up half the cash, you put up the other half. You get the hard money loan in your name or in your LLC's name. We put up the other 50% the cash, and we do all the work. To you, it's totally passive. So that's step number 1, right? And then once we get a tenant buyer in the house, or in 6 months, you qualify for a cash out refinance using a conventional mortgage. Why a conventional mortgage? So that the interest rate is lower, right? So by doing it that way, what's the rent for this house? Is it $1,500 a month? Yeah, it's $1,500 a month. So as you can see, every month we are going to make $300 cash flow, right? And the nice thing about the cash out refinance is we are able to cash out 16 grand out of the money invested, right? So the investment needed is 46,000, to get the hard money loan. And then when we do the cash out refi, we pull out 16,000 of that cash out. So, only $14,000 is left in the property, and that, because of the cash flow that we're getting, it has a yield of over 12%, which is pretty good, right? So your money is making money, basically. And then at the end of 1 or 2 years, a tenant buyer buys the house. Our auction price is $190, and therefore the overall profit that we're going to make is $42,000. So where can you find a strategy where if you invest 23 grand, you make 21,000 plus, right? So it's almost 100% ROI, but by the time you analyze it, it's 61%. Well, where can you find a 61% return on your investment? Nowhere, right? So that's why this rent-to-own partnership program is pretty cool. I have tons of people who are lined up who are willing to do it. So if you're interested in earning, basically doubling your money, let Evan know. You can email Evan at the Diligent Wholesaler. Or you can sign up in the Facebook page, right? We have the link for you to sign up as one of our buyers / joint venture partners. So that's what we do. We partner with people who want a great return on their investment, and then we love rent to own because we generate passive income through that. It's very good tax advantages, right? And we get the profit of a flip. In fact, we get a profit even better than a flip, right? Without paying as much in taxes, and it gives a great return on investment for our investors. So with that, again, sign up on the page. And Evan, you want to say some parting words?
Yeah, absolutely. So last thing with the rent to own is what's nice. Wendell did a great job explaining the back end and how we profit and how you can profit if you partner with us on this deal. A great thing about acquiring rent to own is because our profit is higher than a normal flip, we can actually pay more than a flipper would be able to pay on the same property. So we can beat out offers from other flippers on most properties that we submit our offers to. So on the acquisition side of things, it actually increases your likelihood of getting an offer accepted. Aside from that, if you guys have any ideas on videos moving forward, we will gladly take any of your recommendations. We're definitely planning on doing more of these videos where we walk through and analyze the property, the deal that we're working on right now. And we will also be walking you through how we actually analyze a deal before we acquire the property. So that's going to be more of a filming us. You'll be watching our computer screen and we'll be narrating kind of how we go through a deal and say, hey, is this a good deal or is this a bad deal?
Right. And there's a question, right? John, can you read the question?
How is the purchase rent to own or subject to structured to allow rehabber legal authorization to get permits and or make improvements in this scenario?
Okay. I don't understand the question totally, but I think what you're asking is, or the question is, if there is a subject to deal, how can the rehabber get permits, basically, right? So if that's the question, then the way to do it is that the rehabber's LLC has to be the beneficial interest of the trust where the property is deeded to. And then you can show that, hey, I'm the beneficial interest of the trust, the property is deeded to the trust, and therefore you guys should give me permits. Or it can be as simple as, if you don't want to do that, have the owner sign something that says that the rehabber is the general contractor, for the property. You can do that too. But anyway, that's more of a legal question. I should have answered that by saying check with an attorney. But if I have that situation, that's what I'm going to do. But obviously, have our attorney review all the documentation to ensure that that's legal in the state, which is, I don't know which state you are from, but here in Illinois we have one of the best attorneys in town, and that's what we're going to do with that particular case. Any other questions on rent to own? No?
Alright guys, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section, and I or John will get back to you with an answer as soon as we're back in the office. Thanks again for tuning in to our second Facebook Live event, and we'll see you next time.
Alright, bye.